Hi, friends. The topic today for this discussion is a very unique one, and today I shall first of all start by discussing a curious case that I came across recently. So, this was a case of vertigo in a female of 37 years. She came to the clinic and then she presented with a persistent sensation of vertigo, having no particular modalities as such. And after interrogating for some minutes, I realized that her complaint started after she visited an astrologer, and the astrologer had some knowledge about the various stones that you wear, and she said that all your problems are because you're wearing a wrong stone in the ring. So this female, she got terrified because of that, and then she started developing vertigo. She appeared completely baffled by her condition, and the one thing that was striking in this case was the fact that all the complaints started after the advice given by the astrologer, and she was in a petrified state, to say the least. So I wrote the remedy, and I started talking to her for few minutes. I told her that had it been likewise, that because of a stone you can develop serious problems in your future, or something adverse may happen to you, then the biggest celebrities who are wearing stones would have the smoothest of the lives, which is not the case. And these are things which are generally for the weak willed people. And I advise her not to indulge in all these things and try to stay away from them, as I have hardly seen any such thing happening. So now many of us would be thinking as to what medicine was given in this case. Friends, I gave the second best remedy, which we all know. The basis for the prescription is very clearly stated in Aphorism 17, footnote of the Organon of Medicine, in which Dr. Hahnemann talks about moral remedy. Most of us would have gone for a drug like aconite, bad effects of fear, sudden development of complaints, petrified look of the patient. But in this case, I did not give a medicine, and what was more important than a medicine in this case was the counseling and the psychotherapy. So I will just read the footnote 2 of Aphorism 17, which goes like: a warning dream, a superstitious fancy, or a solemn prediction that death would occur at a certain day or at a certain hour has not unfrequently produced all the signs of commencing and increasing disease, of approaching death, and death itself at the hour announced, which could not happen without the simultaneous production of the inward change corresponding to the state observed externally, and hence, in such cases, all the morbid signs indicative of approaching death have frequently been dissipated by an identical cause, by some cunning deception or persuasion to a belief in the contrary, and health suddenly restored, which could not have happened without the removal by means of this moral remedy of the internal and external morbid change that threatened death. The result was similar in this case, By next morning, her vertigo was gone. And what is most important for all of us as physicians to understand is that it is better to give no medicine rather than to give the wrong medicine. So always wait till you are 100% sure, as per your wisdom, that what the remedy should be in the case. We are dealing with one of the most deepest miasmatic pathologies as homeopaths, which is the actual scope of homeopathy as per Dr. Hahnemann in the introduction to chronic diseases. So we should not, feel contented if we prescribe for a, coryza or a diarrhea and we get results in them. They are psoric reactions in which the body tries to remove the disease by itself. The actual scope of homeopathy lies in chronic, miasmatic, so-called incurable diseases. We are fascinated when we see people giving rare remedies. They have their particular scope, but a very limited scope in homeopathy. They are, first of all, not that well proved. And what I believe firmly is that it is not important that we prescribe a very uncommon drug in a case. Something that deserves greater appreciation is giving a very common medicine, but which is the exact simillimum for the case in front of you. So don't be influenced by rare remedies. They have their scope, but it's a very limited scope. They're often there just to remove a functional disorder, and they don't have a power to eradicate a structural change which has been set up in the body. For example, there was a case that I'd like to share with everyone in which a girl was having a constant complaint of leukorrhea, which was aggravated every time after urination. So, as per the knowledge of keynotes, I had given her ammonium mure in 200 potency, single dose. The only thing which that remedy did was it removed the symptom. Occasionally, the next time that she came to me, she presented with PCOD, bilateral. Then I realized that giving a medicine, basing the prescription on just a single symptom, does not suffice. And the drug that I prescribed later in that case was CPR, which has the symptom in its pathogenesis of leukorrhea being worse after every urination. So, as and when we grow in our clinical practice, we have to realize that prescribing on symptoms will not get us the desired results. Talking about ammonium mure, it has another very striking, so to call, symptom, hemorrhoids after suppressed leukorrhea. Whereas, friends, if we have a basic understanding of the psychotic miasm, the suppression of leukorrhea leads to development of pathologies at the level of mucous membranes, which can be any pelvic pathology in a female, or hemorrhoids, which is the mucosal surface of the rectum. So the basic understanding of psychosis will make us realize that this symptom is not to be considered worthwhile while prescribing for any deep-seated miasmatic disease. So we have to go beyond keynotes. They have their own scope. It is not that there is something good or bad about them, but they have their own scope. We have to go beyond keynotes and try and understand the patient in disease. That's why Hahnemann has said in Aphorism 1, we have to treat the sick, not the sickness. So again, take into consideration the sick, not the sickness. Thank you, friends. Have a nice day.